And that you're obviously very successful at South Pacific Tyres, because I saw in the 12 years you were there, you had 7 roles, which is obviously quite a go-getter with your progression.
Yeah.
I think you joined, I read, as a kind of analyst, and you've ended up as the IT relationship manager.
Yes.
How did those opportunities come about for that progression?
I think it was just, we had a lot to do there. It was a manufacturing business, so it really developed my love of manufacturing and the sort of the whole warehouse and product movement environment, and most of my career has been in that space.
Yeah.
I think being there for such a long time, I was there for like 13 years, had both my kids there. You sort of every 2 or 3 years you grow in and you step up, and so they provided those opportunities to step up and do different things and move around different teams and get different experience, and so it just evolved from that. And then when I came back after having my first child, I sort of stepped more into a management role, and I probably hung around the last couple of years really just waiting to finish having my family. And so it was a bit bitsy in the back end while I was waiting to just finish having my kids.
I think what I was interested in with it, though, is did you proactively go looking for those opportunities, or was the business kind of bringing them to you? Because again, I'm thinking about people trying to advance their careers, and they're kind of sitting there thinking, do I put my hand up and say, I'm interested in other roles and opportunities, or how do those opportunities kind of come knocking?
It's probably a bit of both. I think in the first instance, it's they're given to you. You're working hard, you're being recognised for it, and then you're given those opportunities. As you then establish your reputation, then it was a bit more of seeing where there was potential opportunity and having that discussion and sort of putting your hand up to, hey, well, what if I did this, or I could do that, and looking for them. But particularly in those first 10, 15 years of your career, I think there's a lot where it's seeing how hard you're working, seeing where your potential is, and companies often are steering you down those paths. And I think that first part of my career was more of that. Yeah,
okay, so kind of being allowed to be guided by the people you trusted and believed in you to get to those. Yeah. One of my favourite bits of your resume was reading your achievements in that role. And specifically it said graduate diploma in information systems, master's in information systems, and 2 kids. Yeah. Right? And I love this. So I thought, well, that is an achievement. So in 12, 13 years, you managed 7 roles, a couple of post-grad qualifications, and a couple of kids.
I was busy.
You were very busy. I'm just going to start with the educational highlights. How do you feel that post-grad study kind of set you up for the future?
It cemented probably more my tech knowledge to some degree, but it moved much more into management and leadership, and then gave me much more of a theoretical grounding in those spaces, which was timely for where my career would then go in those subsequent years. But it was more the interactions with other people that I met there, as opposed to what you learn in the actual course. It was the work experience, working with people from different organisations at different levels. You did lots of project work, lots of research projects. And so it was more that what I gained from other people and their experiences that I took away. And in fact, one of the people I studied with, was who tapped me on the shoulder, and the reason I left
there you go.
South Pacific Tyres and went over to Sansella was because I was kind of poached from somebody I had studied with. So it was more those experiences, I think, for me, that were valuable, as opposed to what I actually learnt through the course.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting, because that's easy to overlook, isn't it? Sometimes you focus on the educational outcomes and the learning outcomes, but actually the network of being outside the 4 walls of your organisation, as you say, can be quite powerful to just learn from other experiences, but equally to open the door for other opportunities as well outside of that. 2 kids and some maternity leave as well thrown in the mix there.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you think becoming a parent shaped you as a leader?
Gosh, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
I think over the years it's been patience and learning to listen, but also learning of other people's experiences. You sort of have to be patient with kids and give them space, I found. And I have 2 boys, and they're very active. So juggling everything, juggling what was important for them, juggling what was important for me, for my family, for my career, it makes you get organised, for one.
Yeah.
But I think it also helps you work out what's important in your life.
Yeah.
As well, and then working out where you have to let some things go and let other people take care of it. And that's actually okay. Yeah. It's okay to let go because you surround yourself with good people, and therefore I could focus time on my kids as well as focus time on my career. And I was very, very fortunate because my husband was very, very hands-on at home with the kids. He had his own business. He could move it around to help look after the kids. So, in fact, he became more a house dad, which meant I could focus much more on my own career as well. But I think it's as the kids got older, it's the amount they taught me that made me soften probably in more ways than I would probably care to admit.
Yeah, okay. And how did you feel yourself about returning from maternity leave? I know that can be quite anxiety-inducing for some.
I was ready to.
Oh, you were ready to get back to work?
I was ready to go back. I'm not great at... I have to be very, very occupied.
Yeah.
And doing things all the time, and I was quite ready. It was I loved being at home with my kids, and my husband and I had great fun when we were both there looking after them when we had the second. But it was I just there was things that I was missing that I needed.
Yeah. Okay.